Do you ever find yourself feeling drained around certain people after you talk to them? Or do you find that you were in a good mood and then all of a sudden, once you talk to somebody, you leave from them and you feel like you're not in a good mood? These are all signs that something has come into your energy and is trying to dampen your energy. And if you want to learn more about how to protect your energy, then tune in to today's episode. Hi, my name's Ashley Williams. Thanks so much for tuning in on this episode of the Ripple Effect of You podcast. If you're interested in learning about things related to spirituality, entrepreneurship, or just leveling up, make sure to tune in on this podcast. So here's today's channeled message, if you will. I want to talk to you about how to protect your energy. So upon stumbling into spirituality, I've always grown up learning about God, and I grew up Christian. And I really wanted to take my spiritual and my relationship with God to another level. So I started learning more about spirituality, and spirituality has just been amazing. It's totally changed my life. One of the things that we learn about in spirituality is just about the spiritual world. So this is stuff that is talked about within the Bible and biblically, but there is definitely an ongoing battle between good and evil. And not only physically, where we see things related to crime or whatever else that's on the news, and there's also good deeds that are happening in the world, but this is also happening energetically. And the reason why I asked you initially is if you've been around people who have drained you, then you probably have been part of this whole sphere. So essentially, what goes on in the spiritual world is we're all supposed to be, in some sense, beings of the light, where we bring forth and bring light into the world. Now, many of us may not be operating in that sphere, and that is what it is. But for those of us who are, when we come across individuals who are not necessarily operating in that sphere, we may encounter situations where our energy is, I want to say, manipulated, or things try to get into our energy. So, for example, again, if you are having a great day, then all of a sudden you talk to somebody and you feel as if after you're talking with them, you just feel so tired and drained. And you're trying to figure out what the heck just happened. I mean, I was in such a good mood and then I just, I don't even know what happened. And some people don't even think it's just the one person, but actually it is. And sometimes a person doesn't even know that they're in this sphere. See, the thing is, there are things called attachments and entities that can basically, I want to say, like siphon energy from people, and they can basically attach to people, human beings. Now, if you're of the light, it is harder for these beings to attach to you, but they can try to, particularly if you're engaging in or allowing yourself to be engaging with media, for example, that could be negative. So this could cause them to then have a entryway into getting into your energetic field. But this is where protecting your energy comes into play. So if you are around a person, for example, who is, has these attachments, you don't even know that they have them, but you go home and then you realize, oh my gosh, like I just feel weird. There's probably something that was trying to get into your energy. So I'm going to talk to you about ways that you can basically protect your energy. So here we go. I wanted to explain all that as a background so that you understand what I'm talking about. And going off of which, especially onto attachment entities, I want to say that in the spiritual world, and this could be woo-woo from some people, but here we go. Now, when people cross over and go into either, hell or heaven, or, some people, spirits stay here. Now, what they do is they attach to people and they try to live through people. And you're saying, what the heck is that? Well, this is happening. I mean, look at the movie Ghost, and that will give you a pure example as to what I'm talking about. Now, these spirits will try to attach onto people, or in some cases will, and they will operate through the people. The people don't even know that they're being messed with in this way, but when they go and someone may, come across them or something else, and all of a sudden, people are dealing with something that just feels really negative or like drained, or people do things, for example, that they don't even know that they're doing, that they would do, like if they are hurting someone or engaging in some illegal activity or whatever else. It's probably because in some cases an entity has attached themselves to that person and then now they're operating through that person. But again, there are ways to make sure that this does not happen, to you. And especially this is an extreme case for a person who really is operating in the dark or is completely unaware. And this is for people too who, who are operating in the dark and are completely unaware. Okay, so let's just go into it. Number one, when you talk to people immediately afterwards, you can firstly, before you even begin talking to a person or going into the world, if you will, I would suggest that you pray. You pray for protection around people or situations and things so that they do not harm you or come into your energetic sphere. Now, that's really important because it will definitely keep you protected. The other thing that you can do is after you get done talking with people, for example, even in meetings where you're talking to someone or a couple of people, every meeting that you have when you're done, if you can, I would suggest that you say out loud or to yourself, if you can, but if you're around people, please remove any energy, negative energy that's come to me. I send it back to those who sent it to me in unconditional love, transmuted, blessed, and healed. And please bring back my energy that I have not consented to give away. Please bring it back transmuted, blessed, and healed with unconditional love and cleansed. And what I do is when I say these two things, one is the first one that I say, when I say, please remove any energy that's come to me, I send it back to those who sent it to me in unconditional love, transmuted, blessed, and healed. And I imagine like almost like a vacuum just coming over me. I imagine golden light, if you will, coming from God, coming down my head, coming down all the way to the soles of my feet, and just removing and releasing all these different things. Now, for me, I feel even sometimes little inklings like my spirit guides or my angels or benevolent ancestors removing these things from me that are not supposed to be in my energetic field. And then I send it back to those individuals, pure and cleansed, unconditional love. Now, when it comes back to me, when I'm bringing back my energy, I imagine all these little bits and pieces of me coming back into me and just, again, coming back down to my crown or just all over and just coming back into my energetic field and then just soaking within me. And I feel, yes, I'm free. I feel much better. I feel like I'm back to myself. And in many cases, like I said, you might even feel little inklings of this, these things coming onto you or whatever else. And this is all wonderful. These are all good energies because we are all divinely protected. If we ask for protection, we are divinely protected. So again, I say that you say that mantra after you talk to people, after you have a meeting or whatever else. You could also say a prayer for protection before you begin talking to people, before you get in the world when you're talking to people. Because again, we don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. We don't know what they're engaging in. And this is a way for you to protect yourself. Second thing you can do is get some sage and some Palo Santo, which I'm about to get. I keep this on my desk. People might think I'm woo-woo. I don't really care. This is sage. And I light sage after I have meetings sometimes with people, or like if I am just wanting just to even cleanse my home or cleanse my space, cleanse my office area, whatever else. I have the sage to cleanse. And then Palo Santo is good for bringing in good energy. So sometimes I will do one or the other, or I will do both. Most of the time I'll do sage and do it that way. So these are other things that you can do to cleanse your energy. The other thing that you can do is when you are getting ready to, go to bed, and you might be, you shower before you go to bed, or whenever you are, just taking a shower can be a good way. The one thing that you can do is when you're washing yourself and like when you're in the shower, you can imagine that the water is just this light, golden light coming down from the heavens. And again, you can ask to please cleanse and remove anything that is not of me. Please remove it. And again, you can say, please remove whatever is not of me. I send it back to those sent to me in unconditional love, transmuted, blessed, and healed. I do that every time I take a shower. And then again, you can then also bring back your energy. The other thing I want to say is sometimes as you're saying these mantras, you might burp or, yawn or something. I tend to, that's kind of funny, I tend to burp because you're releasing energy that is not yours. So if you find that, all of a sudden you have like a reaction where you burped or something, then that's when you know that it really worked, which is kind of cool. But I would definitely suggest that too. And when you're in the shower, the other thing you could do is I have Dead Sea salt that I received, that I purchased. And I actually take the salt and then I kind of rub it over me just a little bit. And then I just let it go down. And then I also allow it to hit the bottom of my feet. And that's when I say that too. So this is, again, cleansing negative energy out of your energetic sphere. Now, the other thing that you can do to remove negative energy is just to really be mindful of the people that you hang around, okay? Now, I know in some cases it might be hard to limit access to certain people. For example, if they are, I don't know, people that you have to spend time with, you know what I mean? And so it might be hard for you to not engage with those people. But if you have the option of not engaging with those people, or if you can't help it, I would just try not to engage with those people as much as possible. Because if you find that when you're around certain people, like you feel negative or you feel drained or you feel like something is weird or something is off, then just don't engage with those people, because those people probably have different things that they're dealing with behind closed doors. Then if you are around them, it is going to bring down your vibe and your energy. And you cannot afford to keep having to fight everybody else's, things that they're dealing with, other energies, we'll call them, for in them, entering into your energetic space. Like, you just don't have time, because it's already so much for you, especially as you're going into being a light in the world and doing good in the world. It's enough for us in that sense to be able to make sure that our energy is pure and cleansed, compared to then having to deal with it for other people. The other thing too is, if you're going to tend to hang around those people who you find bring you down or are negative, you're going to find that it's going to also affect you. Like, for example, if they have any karma or any negative things that are happening to them, you know how they say birds of a feather flock together? It's like kind of the same thing, where eventually you will be intertwined with what it is that they have been doing. And then it will cause you to have situations or things happen to you out of nowhere. And then you wonder, why is this happening? Well, it's probably because you're around a person who is kind of negative, or not doing things in the best way. And then all of a sudden it's affecting your energy. And unfortunately, in some cases, this might mean that, you have to just start all over again with friends or people or situations that you're around. And you know what? That's okay. Wouldn't you rather have people who are of the light, great, good people around you, than people who are not? So I really suggest that you are mindful of the people that you protect, and that's how you can also protect your energy. The other thing that you can do is to really be mindful of the food that you're eating. I really try to eat like a lot of greens, a lot of fruits, a lot of things from the earth that are really high vibe, because those are full of just a lot of antioxidants, but they're also full of a lot of just good energy, because it's pure from the earth. Although, we try to get things that are organic, we'll say that. Because when you deal with processed foods or a lot of these like greasy type of things, then that's also affecting your vibe and your energetic sphere again. And it's also so important for you to pray over your food, to pray over the water, or pray whatever over that you're ingesting into your body, so that it has already the intention being set that it's going to help you and it's going to nourish you and empower you, instead of drain you or hurt your body in any type of manner. The other thing that I do to protect my energy is I like to go outside into nature. I didn't realize how much I really, really like nature, but I love nature. And the older I get and the more into spirituality I get, the more I love just being outside in nature. Even when it's cold, I love taking me a walk into like a forest or a nice park. And oftentimes I will take my shoes out of my feet out of my shoes, and I will stand barefoot on the ground, because the ground really is so the grass is so grounding, or just touching the grass, feeling the grass, it's so grounding, touching a tree, and just meditating in the tree and just taking in the tree's energy is so grounding. Or just hugging the tree, which I also love, is so grounding, because trees have so much knowledge and wealth, and most of the time they're hundreds of years old. And if they're not, they just still have so much knowledge and wealth around them. So it's really good to just, go hug a tree, and just to be around different things in nature, because all of it is so grounding towards letting go of these negative energies if you can, especially if you go by lakes. Like the lakes, I live in Michigan. The lakes in Michigan are very, very purified. They have a lot of, not necessarily purified, but they have a lot of great energy, because of the energetic spirit that they're connected with, which not really exactly sure what that is, but I've heard really good things about it. And it's fact, I feel like when I'm around them, I feel so uplifted and just like renewed. So kind of like going into an ocean, right? They also say the same thing too. Like if you bathe in an ocean, sometimes I'll just stick my feet in the lake. That's really fun for me, especially in Michigan, because it gets cold. So that may not always be the best thing sometimes. But anyways, my point is, those are different things that you can do to protect your energy. And the other thing I would say is just to, again, just stay prayed up. It really is so important to just pray, 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 pray about everything. And I'm not trying to impose my beliefs on anybody, but if you really want to learn about, going into spirituality and how to protect your energy, I highly recommend just asking for guidance, asking for prayer, asking to be protected, and you will. And it will be so amazing to you how you feel so much more protected throughout the day as you're going about your day, especially if you take the time to like meditate in the morning, or just say a prayer before you go into your meetings. Just do these things, because it's going to help you so much more. You're going to feel much more connected to your body, much more connected to the creator, and you're going to feel just happier. And again, I highly recommend to always say that mantra before or after you talk to people. The other thing I would be mindful of is when you shake hands with people or hug people, because that is, you're getting super close to them in terms of your energy. So please be mindful of when you're shaking hands, because basically this is the hand, the left is receiving, the hand of the right is giving. So, if you're shaking with your right hand, you're giving energy to somebody else. So sometimes it might just be better to just bump or just say, just wave and say, nice to meet you, without actually shaking the hand, unless you absolutely need to shake the hand. And if you absolutely need to shake the hand, then just make sure that you clear your energy afterwards. And same with hugging, because hugging, you're exchanging, especially if you happen to touch the person's heart as you are hugging, you're again exchanging energy very like right there, one-to-one with their heart, with your heart, exchanging energy. So again, whatever they're dealing with, it could, transmute onto you or transfer onto you. So just make sure that you do say a mantra so that you can transmute that energy off of you. Okay, so I know there was a lot today to go over with how to protect your energy, but I tell you what, all these different things that I've learned over the years have really helped me a lot. I'll give you one more bonus is you can create like a shield, like a bubble shield when you're going around people. So sometimes if I have to go into like large crowds, actually probably like all the time, when I have to go into large crowds, I will ask to have like a shield over me and like a bubble of a shield over me so that any negative energy that is kind to get on me, because especially when you're around a large crowd, there's a lot of different energies, a lot of different spirits that are, could possibly be attached to people, a lot of different things that you're entering into. With all the different spirits or things that are around. So it's so important, again, to be prayed up and to ask for protection around you. So I ask that anything negative that is trying to come into my energetic sphere, that it will literally bounce off of me and go right back to wherever it came from. So that's another thing that you can do just to make sure that you're protecting and grounding your energy. And, with that, just keep listening to that intuition of yours and just keep knowing when it is so important for you to make sure that you use these tools and that you actually enact them. So I hope this was helpful to you on this edition of the Ripple Effect of You. I'm trying to figure out like how to exactly tell these with channel messages or just things, but these are like basically messages and downloads that I'm getting from the creator to talk about on my podcast. And I really love talking about spirituality outside of other things that I love talking about, like entrepreneurship or lifestyle things or whatever else. So I hope this was really helpful for you and that you take these tools with you every day. And I look forward to seeing you next time on The Ripple Effect of You. Take care.